Welcome to the second video in the Nomad International series on how to pack and wrap for your removal. This is Rob Baldwin, Nomad International's removals manager, and he's kindly agreed to help us again with the second of these videos. Today what we're going to do is demonstrate how to do some fragile packing, how to pack a box full of fragile items like china and glassware for your removal. So Rob's already got a box there prepared. This is the first thing you need, obviously, is a good quality box. As you would have seen from our last video, this is a nice double-walled box, which is nice and rigid and strong. It's exactly what you need. Second of all, you need some packing paper. You can use fragile tissue, and you can use tissue paper if you like. This is called packing paper. Often they call it news offcut paper. It's butcher's paper, effectively. Important to use that, and don't use. The key thing not to use is newspaper. Newspaper is just too rigid, and it doesn't absorb the shock. So just packing paper you can get from any good packing supplier. And then finally some tape. Of course, you need to tape up the box. So the first thing obviously you need to do is to tape the bottom of the box. As Rob does that, I'll just explain that the box he's using here is about 18 inches wide and 18 inches deep by about 12 inches tall. As a guide, that's a pretty good size to use for a box that you're using for fragile packing. If the box is very big, you end up having too many things in there. Not only does it become too heavy, but the ratio of the items inside the box to the strength of the box becomes too high, and so it's not ideal for protecting the goods. So this is a box roughly this size is a good start when you're doing your packing. As you can see there, Rob not only is taping across the center, he's actually taping both of the edges. That's really important. It's a point we'll come back to later. It basically ensures, once you do the top as well, ensures that the box is airtight. That effectively turns the box into a kind of balloon. If you can imagine, with the air can't escape, the air itself actually gives the box a lot more strength. So all the bottom edges are sealed, and that's done. This box is nicely described as short, as you can see, so there's no confusion about which is the shorter box and which is the larger box. Things like that are nice to have, it's not essential, obviously. So the next thing to do, obviously, is to start filling up the box with what we call bounce. That means just scrunching up some of the packing paper and filling up the bottom of the box. The reason for this is shock absorption. You're creating a layer of protection for everything that's going to go inside. So go crazy with it, don't hold back. As you can see, Rob's just very loosely filling the box there. A few more. I'll come a bit closer. So you can see inside, it's nice and loose, it's got plenty of give, plenty of bounce. Okay, on to the packing. So Rob's going to start with some dinner plates. The key thing with dinner plates is not to lay them flat. As you can see there, Rob wraps it round, a couple of layers of paper, does it again, and then, as I say, don't lay it flat. Plates go vertically. Great. And again. So you can see, paper around, fold it over, and again. So each piece is wrapped a couple of times. As Rob does that, I'll just explain. The reason that you don't lay plates horizontally is because they're just not as strong like that. If you can imagine, the weight is transmitted vertically through the box, because obviously there's going to be other boxes stacked on top of it. The weight's coming down vertically, so you need to stack the plates and everything else along the plane in which they're the strongest. And with plates, obviously, that's stacking them vertically. So as you can see, Rob's done 5 dinner plates there. Now, if you have a very big dinner plate or a platter, it's not going to fit in that box. It's certainly not going to fit vertically. So don't be tempted to lay it down flat. That's not going to work. You still have to keep it. Yeah, don't keep it flat. It's too fragile. You have to keep it vertically. That means, of course, it's got to go in a bigger box. So in that case, you need several sizes of box. In this case, we would use just this standard large size box, and we would do everything exactly the same as we're doing with a small box, except that this fits bigger items. So we're not going to show that today, but that's just an example.